Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric and I like to read, and today we're going to be doing historical fiction recommendations. So if you are a regular on the channel, then you have seen these kinds of videos before. This is one of the ones where I get a bunch of booktubers to give me their recommendations for a specific genre, and then I show you clips of all of their recommendations so that we can go find some new favorite books for these genres. So today's genre is going to be historical fiction. This is a genre that I personally do not like that much, and that's why I'm excited to do this recommendations video, because maybe based on some of these recommendations, I will maybe start to like the genre a little more if some of these books are good. So I got a bunch of booktubers together and they all recorded little clips for me. So the next little bit of the video is going to be all of these booktubers giving you their recommendations of their favorite historical fiction books. I will also be including all of these booktubers' channels in the description down below. So definitely go check them out after you're done this video and let them know what you thought of their recommendations in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and see what everybody has to recommend.
Hi everyone, my name is Zugu and I'm from the channel Scientist Reading World, a channel where you can find all kinds of bookish content, from book tags to book hauls to book reviews and book recommendations. My most favorite genres are definitely fantasy, historical fiction, thrillers and contemporary, so you will find all this kind of book content on my channel. Thank you again, Eric, for this collaboration in this time one of my favorite genres, which is historical fiction. I hope someone talks about one of my favorite historical fictions of all time. I hope. But I decided to bring something different that is not so popular on BookTube. So my recommendation for today is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, a book set in the same time period from Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so 40s, 50s and 60s, but it's set in New York. So we are in New York, and it follows a young girl who comes from a small town or a more interior town to New York to live with her aunt that owns a theater company. So we have the glamour, but this time the glamour of a theater, the burlesque, the sexuality. It's a very intense book on the feminism side of a woman, how she became a woman sexually active, how she embrace her own sexuality without giving opinions to what men thought, how she lived through the war, how she grew herself, how she made herself a woman, and how she achieved what she wanted. I think it's an amazing book if you like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, if you like a very strong character, and a character who in some points will make dumb decisions but will take the consequences and will move forward and will move to a point where she is feeling good with herself and feels that she owns her body and she owns everything that she has and as a woman. So it's definitely one of my biggest recommendations in historical fiction if you like this genre. And thank you again, Eric, and I hope you see you guys soon in my channel.
Hi, my name's Liv and my channel is Endless Pages here on YouTube, and I do everything bookish content. A historical fiction that I absolutely adore is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is about Evelyn, and she is a Hollywood actress who is now in her late 70s, and she decides to do a tell-all interview with our other character, Monique, who is a journalist. And Evelyn decides to tell everything about her life, her career, and the most famous thing about her 7 husbands. And the book is in the format of newspaper clippings and the interview process. It's an incredibly beautifully written book with beautiful LGBT representation and just a really great strong female character. So yeah, I adore this book so much.
Hi there, I'm Tina from Sound and Fury Book Reviews. I primarily review science fiction, but I have an amazing historical fiction to tell you about called 8 Pointed Cross. If you're a fan of late medieval Renaissance era novels, this trilogy is set leading up to the Siege of Malta. So the first book is 8 Pointed Cross, the second is Falcon's Shadow, and the third is coming out in 2022. It's set on the island of Malta, obviously, following the lives of 4 elevated peasants, a few knights, and a rich member of the Ottoman Empire. It's exhaustively researched and brilliantly written. The books are big, as historical and fiction tends to be, but you honestly just fly through it. The characters are so likable. The main family consists of a single father, a conscripted knight, trying to raise his son, and a firecracker of a daughter, a young woman obsessed with learning the bow despite it being illegal for women. It follows them from childhood to adulthood, but it's not limited to their small sphere. We learn about the landscape of not just Malta, but other areas of the world. A lot of it takes place on ship battles, things like that too. It's really interesting. And the Ottoman Empire is not vilified as, as a people. There are villains on all sides. In fact, I'd say that the Knights are almost worse in terms of particular forms of justice and social control that they issue over the island. The novels are so rich and so engrossing, you feel like you're there when you're reading, and you can tell how much effort was put towards making them feel authentic. A lot of the novel is based on real facts, and there are characters who existed in real life. The dialogue is interesting in that it's not anachronistic, but it's made more compelling by using more casual language, so it's very approachable. I really like that aspect, as sometimes historical fiction dialogue can be stilted, and this definitely didn't feel that way. The novel is breathtakingly good, with plot twists and turns that you don't expect, and you care so much about the characters. It's also gritty in its action and lovely in its relationships between the characters. The author is Marta Svenek, a Canadian of Maltese descent, and the book, again, is The 8-Pointed Cross. So thank you, and I hope you check it out.
Hi, my name's Andy. My YouTube channel is A Zebra Reads, and Eric has kindly let me take part in this recommendation for historical fiction. So I only have a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to show you 3 of my favourite historical fiction that doesn't tend to be the historical fiction that people tend to pick up, and people may not have heard of it, and it's definitely not the most common from what I've seen. So the first one is Random Acts of Heroic Love by Danny Scheinman? I'm not entirely sure. It's a German name. Basically, this follows a man who is captured and taken to a camp in Siberia, and he escapes and makes his way home back to Prussia. This is during the First World War, so that to me, this is the first book I read in the First World War. Normally it's the second, and this is actually based on the author's grandfather's story, so it actually happened. The second book is Revolution by Jennifer Donnelly. This is based in France in the time of the Revolution, when the king and queen were killed and their son put into the Tower. And this follows a dual timeline where you've got our main character in the present and our main character in the past, and it overlaps in a way that you wouldn't expect. But I absolutely love this. I love the Paris setting. I love the setting of the earlier time as well. And then my third is The Lost Book of Salem by Catherine Howe. Catherine Howe is actually a descendant of the Catherine Howe that was tried at Salem, and this is again a dual timeline based on the Salem witch trials, and the main character is a historian, and she is going through a mystery at a time that links back to her family's history, and I absolutely love it. Again, it's not something I've read very much, so I absolutely enjoyed that. So hope there's something there for everyone. Thank you so much again to Eric for letting me take part in this. I am really excited to see everybody else's choices because I love historical fiction. These are my historical fiction shelves here, and I have filled them up, and I can't wait to fill them up with more books from your recommendations.
Hey Booktube, it's Fee, and for excellent historical fantasy, I highly recommend The Widow Queen by Elżbieta Czernyńska. This is a book that I really enjoyed. It's about a historical figure named Świętosława, who is a Polish princess. She's also known as Sigrid the Grody. There's kind of a debate on if these two women are the same, but this book basically takes this like mythical historical figure and shows how badass she is. She's like Cersei, but if you actually wanted to root for Cersei. She's not evil, she's just very good at making sure that her son is protected on his way to becoming king. There's a lot of spiritual elements with cross-cultural things. For example, Świętosława grew up Christian while her husband was Norse, and definitely followed different gods to a very different philosophy on his life. And she has to take care of her son after her husband's untimely demise. And it's just very Game of Thrones-ish in that it has a lot of political intrigue. It has a lot of spiritualism. It definitely has sort of almost a fantasy-like vibe in the background. And it's a book that I really enjoyed. Also, it only has like 40-something reviews on Amazon, which is super under the radar, so you've probably never heard of it. And it is a translation of a book that was originally written in Polish, and I've just enjoyed it so much, so I really hope that you enjoy it too.
Hi, my name's Jordan. I'm friends with Eric. I'm going to start off by recommending The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Fantastic book. I had it recommended by my fiance and I could not put it down. So I definitely recommend giving that a listen. Hopefully Eric also gives it a read. I personally prefer to listen to my books via Libby or the Audible app. The Libby app is actually free if you have a library card, so highly recommend that. I'll pass this over to Eric. Keep on reading.
And those are all the historical fiction recommendations from Booktubers and friends. Let everyone know in the comments down below what you thought of their recommendations. I know I found some new ones on here that I will probably be looking up, so yeah, I'm pretty pumped because I might have a turning point in the genre. We'll see. And now for our independent bookstore shout out. Okay guys, so today's independent bookstore is Spartacus Books, and this is in Vancouver, British Columbia. First of all, look at this amazing storefront. I think this is so awesome. So their store, this is their website, and they have a cool like transition where they keep showing that storefront in the background. So that's all the information you need. They do book deliveries. If you want to check out their books section, they have a site here where you can see what books they have. It tells you what genres they have, what kind of magazines they have, any other things they have. And they also have a section for events that talks about the different things that they have hosted at their store, which is pretty cool. So that's really fun. There was something else I wanted to show you guys. Oh yeah, they also have a lending library. So this is a section in the store where this is like lent out stuff. So you don't have to pay for it. You just have to bring it back with a little coffee station as well. I think that's so adorable. I would really love to go check out this store. I really wish I lived in British Columbia so I could check it out. They also take donations. So if you wanted to, you could donate to them on Patreon. Anyways, so that is spartacusbooks.net. If you guys want to support me, I have a Patreon and a coffee page, which I'll put in the description down below, as well as a link to buy my bookmarks. You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification button so you get notified when I post new videos. I post my videos on Mondays and Thursdays. And until next time, keep on reading.